Hello and welcome back to Powered by Ground Training. This morning we're focused on new homes and why new homes should become a bigger part of yours and my business. Powered by Ground, our motto is being trained by the professionals in the industry. It is so important that you look upon people who are ahead of you, whether it's one step or 100 steps, and try to learn from them. It is best to learn from the best. And that is why our motto is being trained by the professionals in the industry. In new home sales, we focus on new homes. Why new homes has become a huge sector and a huge complement to our broker business. The motivational thought of the day, as you can see here, is setting boundaries. We have to set boundaries and clear boundaries for our meetings. We have to set clear boundaries in our relationships. We have to set clear boundaries on how much energy we're going to spend on our work, on our family, on other recreational items. We have to set boundaries on personal limits. We have to set boundaries on how much we eat. We have to set boundaries and say no to more things in life than yeses. And this is very important that we set boundaries on how we want to live out life. Because time, in one of our trainings, we talk about time. Time is something that only all of us have is equal. We have 24 hours. But the question is what we do with that time. The strategy that we set over our time, and one of the key instruments that we have to set is setting clear boundaries. Setting boundaries over your life. How much of everything you're going to do. Otherwise, we will all get carried away. Meaning there's always things that are interrupting our day and trying to get us involved. Or there's people who are pulling us into something that's going to take half of my day. For example, you might have a client who's moving. And instead of being of good service and saying, I will help you move or move your items, maybe call a moving company and just pay them to help move your client. Meaning you're setting boundaries over your time and your availability to be there at that moment. So setting times and boundaries is very crucial on how we move through life and how we move through business. By setting time, we have understanding, hey, I'm going to spend 15 minutes with this client because if I spend 30 minutes, nothing more is going to come out of it. And maybe you're sitting in a meeting and you're like, you know what, this meeting needs to roll into 1 hour because I feel like there's something here. Or this person just needs my attention. Or maybe there's something that we're talking about that, will help both of us throughout life. So that is the motivational thought of the day, setting boundaries around your life. In our previous lesson, we talked about the vehicle. Building the vehicle that will get you wherever you are going. And we talked about what that vehicle should look like. We talked about what that vehicle should perform or how it needs to move or how it needs to go forward. We talked about how the building mechanisms are of this vehicle. And you can look at our training, usually it's just posted below, on the vehicle. How to get from where you are today to wherever you're going. And yes, you can move a lot faster towards that destination, or you can move a lot slower towards that destination, depending on the vehicle that you build. So the vehicle that you and I sit in is actually driving our business and is driving us somewhere. Like we said, being trained by the professionals in the industry, do you have that 1 or 2 or 5 people in front of you that you're moving towards? You're saying, yes, that person did this, but I want to excel. That person made 2 closings a month. I want to go beyond that. What is it that I need to do to get myself there? To get myself in that position, in that seat of that vehicle that's going to drive me there. And we talked about all the steps that it takes to build out that vehicle. So yes, you need a vehicle to get to wherever you're going in your business, in your life, in your passions. We talked about the dreaming. We talked about commitments. We talked about goal setting. We talked about how to get from here to there. And yes, you have to build that vehicle. Nobody else is going to do that for you. You and I are responsible on how this is to move forward. So, look at the previous lesson on building out the vehicle. And think about your business. And think about where you are and where you want to go. Exposure to the greater market is the lesson of the day for today. We're going to talk about how do you take where you're at and who you are and slowly move yourself into a market that is not there. I oftentimes talk about this. I wanted and I dreamed about of seeing the most expensive homes that exist in the market, meaning like top, high-end, single-family residentials. And I got the opportunity by prospecting this one man who's a builder in Florida. He builds multi-million-dollar homes. But what did I do? I built the destination. I built the vehicle to get there. Yes, it did not happen overnight, but I pursued that. But what did that do for me? It opened me up. It exposed me to a whole other market that I never knew existed. A lot of brokers, they enter the market and they think that there's just a buyer and a seller. And that is it. That is all there is to real estate. But real estate is so broad. There's so many avenues in real estate beyond just working for a buyer or for a seller. And this is why we have this lesson, exposure to the greater market. Where do you start if you're somewhere else in California, Nevada, Colorado, Florida? Where do you start? Well, your first step is to go to the biggest brokerage in town. Pull up the biggest brokerage in town and go interview yourself into that company. Why is that? Because you are going to be exposed to the best people in the industry in your immediate market. Interview 5, 10 brokers. Interview every single team in that company. Talk to all the brokers. But you want to start with the best. You don't want to sign up for a mom and pop shop, which are doing they're doing well, but they're just doing well off of their books. But if you're here to start and kick off really fast, you want to start with a really good company inside of your zip code, inside of your county. And when you start with that company, you expose yourself to so many opportunities. So first of all, get yourself with the best who are in the industry. Get yourself into a company that has that exposure or can build that exposure for you. Second, get out of your comfort zone. Real estate and being a real estate broker is not about making yourself comfortable. This is not a 9-to-5 job. You're hustling to get to the next meeting. You're hustling to see the next opportunity. You're hustling in this market to see what the next transaction would look like. So you have to get out of your comfort zone. So when you enter this world, or you're exposed to this world of opportunities, now you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to understand that you might have to talk about things that you do not understand. You might have to talk about things that you don't really fully grasp. But within the context of all that, that is exactly what you want. You want to be out of your comfort zone because you're slowly exposing yourself to an area, and those people are learning that there's a new person, I call it on the block. They used to not know about you. They used to not know your name. But now you show up. And everybody's like, whoa, this is a new person, a new broker. Let's see what this is all about. So they're looking upon you and you are looking upon them. And this is where the bridge building opportunity creates. And this is why I say, start interviewing all the brokers inside the company. Why? They get an opportunity to learn about you, and you have an opportunity to learn about them. There's a trade-off that is happening during these meetings. They get to throw maybe some good ideas towards you, and at the same time, they're able to see your strengths and weaknesses entering into the real estate market. Number 3, working with different people group. When you're exposing yourself Again, we have in resale, we have buyers and sellers. In new homes, we have inside salesperson, we have builders, we have investors, we have developers, we have subcontractors, we have a different group of appraisers, we have surveyors, we have stormwater, we have civil engineers. You're exposing yourself to such a other greater pool of people. But you need this, because our goal is to know as many people as we can, because real estate is all about networking. Real estate is all about cultivating and prospecting within this people group. But this is such a new people group, but there's so many people, again, who are considering to buying. You know how many subcontractors of mine bought a house? Many of them. Why? Because they work on the houses. You know how many appraisers buy a house? You know how many inside salespeople buy the house that the builder builds? And so forth. You know how many investors buy homes from the builders and then 5 years later come back and buy 5 more homes, and in 10 years come back and buy 5. So what I'm saying is you have to be okay to enter into this new group of people. And again, the minute you step in there, they learn of you and you get an opportunity to learn about them. This is what exposing yourself to the greater market means. And then working within networking events. I pull up as many networking events with as many associations in our market as I can. If I'm not there, I usually talk to people who are there. If I didn't have an opportunity to make it to that meeting, I'll talk to a broker who did make it to that meeting, and I'll just ask, hey, give me a couple bullet points. What was that meeting about? What was that meeting about? What was this meeting about? It is so important that if we're not there, that we have bridges that we have built to understand what is happening within those network groups. Why is that? Because when you network, you get an opportunity to learn on what happens in the lending industry, what's happening in the mortgage industry, what's happening in the investor world, what's happening in the private capital world. You're getting an opportunity, you're getting fed information from all of these other industries that are surrounded in the industry of real estate. You get an opportunity to talk to the renovation guy, the fix and flip guy, and so forth. Why? The more information we gather about our industry, rates up, rates down, appraisers too low, short sales, foreclosures, markets going up, prices are increasing, but whatever information is circulating, this is the information we're gathering within the network. Sales are up, sales are down, it's hard to sell a home, the buyer pool has shrunk, whatever the news feed is. But we need to get this information into us or bounced off of us, because our clients are waiting for that information. Our clients are asking us about new home sales. What's happening in this community? What's happening in this code? Why did they build new schools? Oh, they had new bond programs. Oh, blah, 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 blah. So all this information is needed so you and I can bring this information back to our clients, because our clients have a very important decision to make. Are they going to spend $500,000, $1 million, $2 million on this house or not? And the more information we gather that we can present to our clients, the more professional we look, but at the same time, we're helping them make the best decision of their life. So exposure to the greater market. You and I, we have to step out of our comfort zones. We have to move quickly from meeting to meeting, just like we talked. Setting boundaries. You have to set boundaries. You have to move from meeting to meeting, from client maybe to client, from maybe, working with buyers is not the best thing, maybe working with sellers. Oh, maybe working with investors. We have to move it because the market moves on us every single day. We have to move quickly through our business and through our appointments. Do not get stuck in one relationship or one meeting. One of the brokers, or many of the brokers I've met, they start working, and I had that issue when I started in real estate. You have a hard time discerning how to vet out people who are wasting your time and who are not. and you have to set boundaries. You'd be like, you know what? This is why I like a lot of buyer agents who say, I will only show you 5 homes. They're not going to show you all the 1,000 homes in the market. They just say, today I have time to show you 5 homes. What are the 5 homes that you want to look at today? What is that broker doing to their client? They're setting boundaries. You know, instead of meeting for 2 hours with your seller, you say, I'm going to send you a listing package. I want you to look at the video. And when I show up, we're just going to talk about contract. Everything else is covered. So what are you doing? You're setting boundaries. So the next time you're at a listing appointment, you're not spending 2 hours. You're spending 20 minutes. You're going through everything. You're asking if they looked at your videos, if they looked at all the paperwork. If they have any questions, you look at their home, you prep it, and you take it to the market. But this is what setting boundaries is all about. So we set boundaries in our life. We expose ourselves to so many different people groups, networking events, so that way we can bounce things off of other people and people can really know who we are for what we are worth. And again, move quickly. Move quickly in your business because the market is always changing on us. I would say markets probably change the small cycles maybe every 6 months, the longer cycles every 5 to 7 to 8 years. So you always have to pivot your business. We're always moving, with wherever the market is taking us. So why new home sales? Because it creates the opportunity that often other sectors of this market do not.